I think, Sandra, this is probably the place where as a team, as a group, we spent a lot of time discussing on how do we go about it, because something, trying to see an outcome from something as powerful as enablement programs or leadership programs like what we are discussing today doesn't necessarily happen only in like a 6 months time, because it's a journey. What we are doing is we are providing a very structured environment and a format for everybody to come together, give that impetus, and then it picks up, right? And after that pickup, there is a time that it needs, because it needs to be nurtured, it needs to be invested in, and so on. So I think we looked at it from a lens of what do we look at it immediately, which could be more of a right here, right now, short term, and some things which are close to middle to long term. Something which was almost immediate, just to ascertain that we are in the right direction, is more of the qualitative, quantitative feedbacks that we got immediately after the training sessions. Doing a dipstick in terms of like once in a month kind of a forum with all the participants on, okay, you've given us inputs and feedback about every module, but if you have to summarize the learning and the experience, what would it look like, right? How did you feel about it, and so on. So that was something that we did very deliberately and very intentional, and it helped because some of that input then looped itself into how we would want to evolve the program further. That was more of a short term. The other piece that we also looked at is what additionally are the asks that are coming from the participants as an outcome of they having this forum, outcome of they hearing different perspectives and then forming their own. Sometimes there are new asks, new skills that come through, and are we hearing, are we listening? So some of those things we captured and followed it up as part of speaker series, as part of some of the inputs that we shared with their sponsors to say, here are the things that the participants would want to know more. Spend some one-to-one time in your sponsorship sessions to cover that, hear them, provide them that input, and continue the journey of sponsorship. I think on a short term, if this was short term, more of a medium to long term was more on the lines of how have the career trajectories evolved? Have they put their hand up for something that they may not have earlier? Now, some of these things need a lot of time and tracking, and that's something that we are still figuring out. But our view is anything directional there as well will give us an input on where we are moving. I think that's the way we looked at short and the long term.
Beautiful. Shati, anything different that you're looking at in GEP as short, long-term goals for Women Leadership Program?
I think, like Sarla said, Sandra, this was more like an enabler. It was more like an enabler, and this was across, associate directors to, senior directors participating in this program. Personally, I think in the short term, it was about having that courageous presence, about building our own brands. It is how do I overcome those? So I think that is what I've seen in the short term. And career trajectory, like Sarla said, is the next one to come. So we have, I must say that I have seen that already happen for a few of the women. I think they were able to take charge, and they have grown in their respective areas. But I think we will have to see it through. It will take, the program just concluded. We'll have to see how it, how do we see others progressing as we go through the